Your physical therapy clinic is on Google right now, and your phone isn't ringing. Here's what that actually means. It's not that patients can't find you, it's that they find you and then they pick someone else anyway. That's a completely different problem, and it has a completely different fix. Hi, I'm Nathan Hawks, the president of Arcane Marketing. We build digital marketing strategies for healthcare practices. Physical therapy clinics are a big part of that. And the issue that I just described is probably one of the most common things we see in this vertical. Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly what's happening and what you can do about it. Here's what we're covering: why PT clinics get stuck in search even when they're doing things right. Second, the three phases of local SEO that move the needle the fastest. And third, how AI search is changing patient behavior right now and what this means for your clinic. And then fourth, the one thing that has this whole strategy together and that nobody is doing. So let's go. Here's the core problem. With physical therapy SEO, your patients already know that they need physical therapy when they search. They're not curious, they have a surgeon's referral. And they've got a shoulder that won't quit and a knee they've been ignoring for the last 3 months. They're ready, and they just don't know which clinic to call. Now that means the competition isn't about being found, it's about being chosen. And PT clinic websites are not built to win that choice. When they rank, they show up somewhere, but the content doesn't give the patient a reason to trust you yet over the 4 other clinics on the same page. Look at that number. Position 4.6 on Google, over 1,000 people a month. And you see that clinic in search results. 0 clicks, not even one. That is not an SEO problem, that's a conversion problem. The title tag and meta description are not giving patients a good reason to click. And the fix for that is almost always faster than people expect. So what actually makes someone click on your listing over the one above it? The answer is specificity. Generic titles lose every single time. Physical therapy services in your city tells a patient nothing that they didn't already know. But ACL recovery and sports rehab in your city book same week. Now this tells them exactly what you treat, where you are, and that they don't have to wait 2 months. One's a placeholder and the other a good reason to call. Your title tag and meta description are your first ad. This is where most PT clinics are either going to win or lose, and most don't even realize it. When a patient searches physical therapy near me from their phone, Google is going to decide which 3 clinics to show up in the math results. Those 3 spots are the local pack, and those 3 clinics get overwhelmingly the majority of the calls. Position 4 and below might as well be on page 2 or page 10. The single biggest driver of where you land in the local pack is your Google Business Profile, not your website, your Google Business Profile. A profile that was set up 2 years ago and then left alone loses to a profile that's actively maintained every single time. Here's what actively maintained means. Every field is filled out. Every service is listed. Photos are more recent, hours are accurate, and you are posting updates. Not weekly necessarily, but consistently. Google Business Profile posts get indexed by Google, and they also get read by AI engines when patients are asking for local providers. That's a free asset, and most clinics are simply leaving them empty. Reviews are second piece. Volume, consistency, recency, and response rate are all ranking signals. A clinic with 60 reviews from the past 12 months beats a clinic with 14 reviews from over 3 years ago. Even if those 14 reviews are 5 stars, Google is measuring how active and trustworthy your practice appears to be. Old reviews signal an inactive practice. The strategy, it's really simple. Ask every satisfied patient, every single one, or give them a QR code at the front desk, and then maybe a follow-up text or a short email after the discharge. It costs nothing, it moves your rankings, and it keeps moving them. Physical therapy covers a lot of ground. There's ACL recovery and rotator cuff rehab, post-surgical care, sports injuries, pelvic floor, vestibular disorders, pediatric PT. Each one of these is a patient search category, and each one of them is a page that you could own. Most physical therapy clinic websites have a single services page, and then it lists all of those conditions in maybe one paragraph. And that page is competing against clinics that have entire dedicated pages or sections for each condition. Pages that answer the actual questions that people search. Like, how long does PT take after a rotator cuff surgery? Or, is physical therapy covered by my insurance? Maybe something like, what should I expect at my first appointment? These aren't just blog topics, these are featured snippet opportunities. Those are the answers an AI engine pulls when a patient asks a question to ChatGPT before they ever even open Google. Content that answers real patient questions is working for you every single hour that you're not in the clinic. And that's the investment. Now, here's the part that nobody tells you is the piece that changes how everything else performs. And I've never heard another marketing agency explain it in this way. So pay attention. When we audit a PT clinic that says digital marketing didn't work for them, the story is almost always identical. They had a website, maybe some SEO work was done, and perhaps they ran some Google ads, and the results were flat. Here's what was actually happening. The patients they were trying to reach were checking on social media before they even booked, not necessarily to discover the clinic. After they discovered the clinic, they found their name on Google and then they went to Instagram or to Facebook or even to YouTube to decide, hey, is this clinic real? To see if there was a face, a human being, or someone that looked like they knew what they were doing. And what did they find? Well, they found a Facebook page that last posted back in 2023, or an Instagram with 4 stock photos and 11 followers. It's not much to go on. That's not a social media problem. That is definitely a trust problem, and it's killing conversions on everything else that you're already doing. Here's the other thing that profile is doing, or not doing. ChatGPT, Perplexity, Google AI, Gemini, all of these are engines that are indexing social content. They read your posts, they read your captions, they read your video titles and your descriptions. The more places a patient's question gets answered by content that's connected to your clinic, the more likely you are to get recommended when that patient asks an AI for a physical therapist in your city. This is GEO, Generative Engine Optimization, and it's not coming because it's already here. The clinics building content right now across search and social are the ones that will dominate AI recommendations in the next 24 months. The ones waiting are going to be very unhappy about what that felt like. And the fastest way to build all of that signal is video. A physical therapist on camera explaining about your ACL recovery, demonstrating a shoulder exercise, or answering the question that every new patient asks in their first appointment. That video is indexed by YouTube. It's then read by Google, picked up by the AI engines, and it answers the question that every prospective patient is already asking at 9 p.m. on a Tuesday before they decide who to call the next morning. A phone video with decent audio does all of that. You don't need a production crew. You just need a phone and something useful to say, which you already have. We've looked at a lot of PT clinics that just weren't getting that much results. And in 99% of those audits, there was little to no consistent video. That's not a coincidence. That is definitely the missing piece. So here is what the full picture looks like. A well-optimized Google Business profile with active reviews, a website that gives patients real reasons to click, and content that answers the questions your patients are already searching. And then on top of that, video posted consistently that puts a human face on everything else. That's not 4 separate tactics. That is the one system. And when it runs together, it compounds over time. Month 6 is so much better than month 3, and month 12 is even better than month 6. That's how you stop renting attention with ads and start owning it. If you want to know exactly what's holding your clinic back, we'll take a look. There's no pitch, there's no pressure, just a straight conversation about what we might see, what we would fix, and our link is right below the video. All you have to do is ask.